The Nerdbilly Podcast welcomes you. The best damn podcast in the world just for you. The script is lame. They paid me to sing this tune. I'm not wearing pants.
You are now listening to the Nerdbilly Podcast, featuring two of the sexiest nerds alive, the dreamy Ed Webb and the adorable Phillip Drea Duncan. All right, boys, get in there and thrash around a bit.
We're live!
This hangout is on air and live.
After 36 minutes of trying to get our shitty equipment to work, we are live.
Indeed. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. It is the, I believe, 4th episode of the Nerdbilly Podcast.
It's the 4th episode, Ed, not the 5th.
Yeah, well, hey,
I was thrown off by that. I got the notifications, like the 5th one. I was like, God, how many have I missed now?
I was like, did he do an episode without me?
That's alright.
Did Ed do an episode of the Nerdbilly Podcast without me?
Yeah, I'm co-opting it, bitch. No, one time when I was first talking about doing the Knights of the Round podcast for the Final Fantasy fan page, the two people I was talking to about doing it is Lauren and Spencer. And then one day, out of the blue, I just downloaded and listened to the Final Fantasy Union podcast. And they were like, this is the Final Fantasy Union podcast with your hosts, Lauren and Spencer. I was like, son of a fucking bitch.
Those assholes.
It wasn't them, though. Just a weird coincidence.
So, you gonna introduce us, or?
Yes, I'm gonna get around to it.
You gonna go through this every episode, or?
I don't know, man. Maybe if you would have held your seat for a second, I would have got to it without this little bit of a spat. So, first and foremost, everyone, we have a special guest host, and that is Jason. Jason, say hi.
Hello.
And Jason, what have you been up to here lately?
Working, reading, going to Dallas for con.
Nice.
I don't know if you should use the word special when introducing Jason as a guest.
I don't think you should try to be telling me how to run my show.
I still got like 3 episodes of special in me here. Before you guys just go, here's that one fucking guest that we usually bring on here.
Three more episodes before he's played out.
It's like 3 more at least where I'm this special guest.
No, eventually it's just going to be with the hosts.
And what do you mean your damn show? You mean our damn show.
I suppose that's what I mean. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes here.
Ed, we have lots to talk about.
Oh, I am so sure we do, man. I have been waiting to get you guys on here so we could hear all about the trip you guys took to Dallas. And before we go too much further, I don't want our regular co-host to get anally pained over the way that I introduce people. So we have Phillip.
Still haven't introduced me? Oh
No.
my god, it took you so long. I just assumed it had been done already and I blacked out through it.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. That is just a little spiteful. I'm going to tell you what.
Introduce me.
Oh, I did. You were just running your fucking mouth. This is Phillip, the author. So, tell me about Dallas.
No, first I'm going to read you something that I found today, and it was very funny as soon as it comes up on my phone. So it's a text message transcription. This guy got I'm assuming this guy could have been a girl, meant to be sexist, I guess, but got a spam text message and had a beautiful response. So here's the spam text message. Hello, my name is Harris, and I represent a Fortune 500 company. I would like to interest you in a chance to earn $5,000 a month in the comfort of your own home. If you're interested, give this number a call and we can discuss something. So the person wrote him back and said, congratulations, you have successfully subscribed to Interesting Facts of the Day. Here's your daily fun fact. A human's cells replace themselves over a span of 7 years. So every 7 years, you're essentially a clone of yourself. To unsubscribe from interesting facts of the day, please send UNSUBIFOTD in all caps. So the dude wrote, the original person wrote back and sent unsub IFOTD. So then they said, congratulations, you have unsubbed from interesting facts of the day. We will be sorry to see you go. We are currently in a phase of survey and testing. Would you like to take part in our survey? Send yes or no. No. You have selected no problem. Thank you for your patience. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our fun facts? What? How do I stop this? You have successfully subscribed to Ways of Twerking with keywords what? Our current database only has Miley on it. Would you like a tutorial on the Miley way of twerking? Reply yes or no. No. You have successfully subscribed to Naughty Otters. Here is your free daily otter picture. To unsubscribe from this service, reply no otters. No otters. You have successfully unsubscribed from Naughty Otters. Would you like to subscribe to Naughty Dogs? Reply yes or no. No. You have selected no problem. Here's your daily naughty dog picture. Dude, you gotta stop this. I've got a business to run. I can't be checking my phone for shit like this. Thank you. You have keyed in the daily secret word shit. As a reward, we will be providing you with 80 free naughty dog pictures for the next 24 hours. If I ever fucking find you, I will rip out your throat and go ham on your ass. Congratulations. You have keyed the keyword ham. Here is a picture of sexy ham.
That's beautiful.
All right, so FinCon. We just got back from it. You know what else? I also just went to a concert a couple weeks ago. That was pretty fun too. Which would you like to hear about?
Well, the convention. I think.
All right, I figured.
That's what I asked you about. I didn't ask you about a concert.
Oh, all right. Well, fuck you too then, there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm a buddy guy.
Guy.
I'm not your guy, Chief.
I'm not your buddy, Jack.
So it was in Dallas. It was at the Crown Plaza Resort. I guess nothing really super eventful happened on the way there. We bought some severely overpriced dinner.
Oh my god.
We get there, and they're like, hey, the bar's open. You can still get food. We're like, sweet. We were just on the road for 6 hours. It'd be sweet to have a drink and get something to eat. And so we look at the appetizers. It was like $10 an appetizer. I'm like, whatever. So there's 3 of us, right? So we each order something different. They bring out our food, and we're all like, oh, we'll just share, So I ordered pizza, and then we ordered some quesadillas. Like, oh, we'll just share it all, And it comes out, and we each literally got 3 tiny little slithers on our plates.
Yeah, like the size of chips.
It was like
we got 3 fucking chips. That's what we got.
It was like going to Sam's Club and hitting the little tester stations, where they give you free food. That's what we each got. We're like, oh, we all get to try one of each of the things. That's so wonderful. Anyways, convention started Friday. It was awesome. It was a really good convention. In fact, it's probably the funnest one I've been to date. It was very, very laid back. Everybody was really cool. They had a good crowd. It was different though. Like most of the, Jesus Christ, what are you drinking?
Just a can of beer, man.
Just a can of beer. That's just a can of beer.
I was gonna say, this camera must be doing weird angles because it looked like a fucking keg you just lifted up. It's like, God, I can tell if he's working out or he's trying to get drunk.
It must be that Oklahoma.
Look at that. Oh. Yeah, it's the angle. It must be the angle. Look at it's bigger than his microphone, dude.
I guess in Oklahoma, because of that 3.2 beer, they've started making bigger cans. Must be. This is like, Ed is literally holding like a gallon-sized can of beer. I'm sitting here trying to talk about cons, and he's on the other end holding up a
just having a fucking gas trailer trip.
Do you need help lifting that? Are you gonna be able to get it on your own?
Every time I lift it, it gets lighter, so I think I got it, man.
Jesus.
They come with winches, so you can hook them up to trucks.
This is like the biggest can of beer I've ever seen in my life.
You guys don't have these in Missouri?
I
don't think we need them.
He's got like a case of beer in one can.
Fuck it. I'm just tired of putting them in separate cans. Here's the whole thing.
I've seen cars that aren't as big as that can of beer.
I mean, honestly, the hole in that thing, could you put your fist into it?
Can you fist your beer can? We want to see it.
It's just a standard size hole.
Well, it's not a standard size can.
That don't look like a standard hole for beer.
When you're done, do you peel the label off and send it back to the company for a billboard? What? I don't even know what the hell was I talking about.
Yeah.
They were nice people. They were really cool people.
There's a con. There was really cool people at the con. Oh, what I was gonna say was that it was
you guys, because all that bullshit we had to go through to get the show going, I've already had to drink like half of it, and this is not my first one, so it's just gonna get worse as we go
How
along.
can you drink 2 of those?
Well, these, like I said, it's just a beer.
How many fingers am I holding up?
It's a really blurry camera. So.
Yeah, not as much.
So the convention.
The convention was awesome. What I was gonna say was it was a little different crowd than what I'm used to seeing at the cons. Probably because it wasn't like there wasn't a lot of anime, and that's become, I guess, like a really big thing for the cons in the last several years. It wasn't as heavily game influenced. I mean, there was a lot of writing stuff, a lot of art, a lot of really cool stuff. A lot of the cons I go to seem like they're more focused on games and anime, and this one wasn't as much. So it brought in a different crowd, and yeah, that's the train, and it will be on the podcast.
That's cool. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, never mind. No train. Forget that.
Tonight for some reason.
He will.
Things, all the things your microphone could have picked up, it would have been better to have the train.
Right? So, the crowd for FinCon, it was different than what I'm used to. There was a lot of, there's a big age difference. Like, a lot of the ones I go to, the majority of the crowd are like 15 to 25. And this one, there was actually, I would say the majority was 25 and older, maybe even 40 and older. There was a lot of older people there. It was really cool. So, they had, I didn't really get to watch any of the panels. They had all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, and there's a big music influence there. They had, what is it, Ookla and the Mock, I guess is a relatively popular band in the nerd culture. And they're real big on filk. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Well, I guess as I understand it, it's like it's FILK, and it's supposed to be like nerd culture music that's kind of done in a folky type way. I guess is how I
hadn't seen
understand it.
those guys. I woke up early one morning and I didn't know where you guys were at, so I went to this panel and these guys were playing music. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And they were singing about dragons and shit, like a folk.
Yeah, that's I think that's what filk is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had there's always, every con you go to, there's room parties. It's just a thing that happens. But what's cool with this one is they actually like blocked off a whole hallway, and so like as you were walking down the hallway, each different room was like a different organization. There were like different cons there, basically representing their cons. Different groups. There was a publisher that had a room. Different things like that, and you just walk down the hall and you walk into this room with total strangers, and they would just be like, "Oh, come in, have some food. We got all kinds of candy and Oreos and stuff we baked, and grab a free beer out of the cooler, grab a soda, take a shot with us, whatever you want to do." It's like, all right, I'm here, let's do this, It's very cool, very cool. And we met a lot of really cool people, hung out with some really cool people. I guess since it's wanted to be mentioned. I did have a stalker. That was the only low point of the whole weekend.
Man, bear, pig.
As Jason refers to him, the man, bear, pig. I had a guy very interested in me because apparently in my life, picking up girls is just, never going to happen. But I'm going to get stalked by creepy old men wearing hog carcasses.
Now, when you say wearing hog carcasses, can you elaborate on that?
He was literally wearing the skin of a dead hog.
Tell about the nipple.
It still had the nipple on it. I touched it.
Yeah,
Nipple? Are you saying that he carved off the other nipples and just left one for show?
I didn't really go that far into detail.
Was it a hard nipple?
It wasn't. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Damn thing still had hair on it too.
He could have at least starched it.
Yeah. So this guy says to me, there's all kinds of different people. When you go to a con, if anybody listening's never been to a con, the coolest thing, one of the things I love about cons, especially when you get to like later in the evening and the room parties are going and stuff, you have people from like all walks of life who may not have anything to do with each other in any other environment, but they're totally cool and just hanging out, and it's really cool. So, and of course there's all kinds of people in costumes and stuff, and you don't think anything of it one way or the other because everybody, all these different people in costumes. So we're all hanging out with total strangers, but everybody's super cool. And so, like 10 minutes after this guy shows up, he's like, "Hey, I don't want to offend you, but I just wanted to let you know that I think you're really cute." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not offended, but I am straight." So this dude proceeds to put his hand on my shoulder and say, "We'll see about that by the end of the night." And I'm like, normally maybe a little more defensive, but I was like trying to be cool, so it was like kind of just removed his hand and was like, that sounded a bit rapey. He goes, "You can't rape the willing." And I said, "I can assure you I'm not willing." And he says, "We'll see about that by the end of the night." So by that point, I was just trying pretty much to get away, and he kind of followed us around a little bit. And we finally lost him, though. Thanks to my new friend Grant. If he ever happens to listen to this, Grant, you're a fucking rock star.
Well, you guys lost him. He was going to read me poetry.
He was going to read Jason. I left Jason behind for a while. I didn't realize I'd left him behind.
That was my own fault, because I was in Rainbow Land at that point.
I say
Now,
more ways than one.
that sounds like that is a story that needs elaborated on.
So well, there's really not much to it. We made it back inside the motel or the hotel, and we lost him for a little bit, and we ended up hanging out with a group of people in a hallway, and he reappeared, and I was like, "All right, let's get the hell out of here." And we ended up going back to Grant, this guy we were hanging out with named Grant. We went back to his room, and once we got there, I realized Jason was left behind. Jason was sitting back there talking with his new friends, and Hog Carcass came up, Man Bear Pig came up, and
that's when the poetry reading.
Told him he wanted to read him some poetry.
Mm.
That's when Jason's radar finally went off and was like, "Oh, this is a weird situation."
He just wanted me to sing to him, and he wanted to read me poetry. I was like, I don't feel right. Something not right about this.
Jason, you mean to tell me that it took that to make you nervous about a man wearing a pig carcass to a party?
There was a lot of things there.
It was a long night.
And I had a lot of these drinks called the True North, and
we went to Canada for a while.
I had a lot of Patron and a lot of other things, and I was talking to everyone.
We were having a really good time.
I don't think there was a person there that I didn't meet.
No, in fact, the next morning when we managed to finally get up and get out of our hotel room a little bit after checkout time, like random people were approaching us in the halls and like, "Hey, I had so much fun hanging out with you last night. Are you okay today?" And we're just all like, "Yeah, no, it was wonderful." and half of them was like, I don't honestly remember.
I think I just grunted at some of them with my sunglasses still on. So fucking hungover. Oh my god. I went and passed out beside the pool for like 2 hours.
So nobody approached you guys like, so guys, about last night, are you guys okay?
Yeah, actually, a few of them. Because at one point, when the hog carcass man was still on my trail, Man Bear Pig, I hit up another author I know. Like, I don't even really know him that well, but I was just like, look, there's a creepy dude. He's acting real rapey, and I just need to stay away from him because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I might end up hurting this person. Like, I don't want to. I'm not a violent person, but like lines are starting to be crossed here. And this other author and this girl actually like walked with me to the other side of the hotel and like got on the side of me and acted as a human shield so that nobody could see me. Because, you know, that's what you do at cons, stealth ops.
Right. That sounds exciting. Are you going to write a story about him?
He could make it into a story. That might not be a bad. I don't know if I want to relive that though, to be honest with you.
Well, you have to exercise your demons.
Want to put Phillip Duncan in the hole.
Puts the lotion on the skin. Puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again. No, man, but the rest of all, man,
you could write.
Con was so...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the con was so cool. They had there's a con called Who Fest for like the show Doctor Who. They had a room party there. There's a big con called WorldCon, and every year it picks a new location. So there was like a group for Washington D.C. that were trying to convince people to vote for it to be in Washington D.C. and then like right across the hall was the group voting for it to be in Canada. And you know, initially you would be like, oh, Washington D.C. because America. But the Canada people, they were so cool. Even though they were from Tulsa, they were the coolest. You go in there and the dude would like had a little.
For the longest time, I actually thought he was Canadian.
Oh,
I was in there. He's like making all these Canadian drinks, telling me about Canadian history. I'm like, wow.
Wearing an Alpha
I kind of want to go
t-shirt.
to Canada, and then you got to talk to him more. Like it took like 5 hours later when we went back in there, and he's like telling Phil, and I was like, so how is Canada? You know, he's like, oh, I'm not from Canada.
From Tulsa.
Wow.
Yeah, he's wearing an Alpha Flight shirt and everything.
I was really disappointed.
There was Apollo Con had a room. There was like what was it? I'm trying to think of what the word was. I don't want to say dance party, but like he had a name for it. Like I don't know, some kind of dance that like that. Rock it out.
Yeah.
So they had like a dance room. They turned a motel room into like a dance room. They had all kinds of crazy lights and stuff.
Daft Punk or something.
DFW Con had a room. God, I know them for their Brass Crab was where we hung out the most.
Yeah, people were cool.
Brass Crab Publishing, which is really cool. It's a family that got together to publish books because their sister passed away, and so one of the other sisters wrote a book, and then like the brother like handles the company's financing, and then like her daughters do the covers or whatever, and it's kind of all like dedicated to their sister. They were super cool, and they had a live band in the room that they had, and they had a bathtub full of goodies and a table full of goodies, and they were like, just help yourselves, have a great time. So it was fun, man. It was a blast.
That's awesome, man. I'm going to have to come to one of your industry parties one of these days.
Yeah, right. I'll believe that when I see you get out of the house. I did talk to the people from SoonerCon while I was there, and I assured them that I would be there for SoonerCon this next year. So.
Awesome.
Oh, Ed, they were playing. Remember when we talked about Army of Darkness?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They were playing Army of Darkness in like this theater somewhere. I don't know how I got there, but they were playing it. It was awesome. I just wanted to tell you that.
I don't know how I got there.
I don't know what I did.
It's possible that I imagined it.
But I was definitely
there. All of a sudden, I woke up in a theater watching Army of Darkness.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Wearing a bathrobe and a pigskin.
It smelled like beef jerky and man.
No, it did.
So Ed.
Did we get Jason to gag?
He did.
No, but in all seriousness, you need to watch out because you do not want him going next year to the Dallas convention wearing a Phillip skinned vest.
Nobody wants that.
He'd probably like make it and be like, this just doesn't look very good.
So you had a pretty funny comment about my picture, and I felt like I owed you an explanation.
Well, I was mostly just giving you shit. I didn't figure you sealed the deal.
Yeah, so you referred to me as I'm just gonna read this text message because it was fucking hilarious. So is it me, or is the writing thing really keeping the hot nerd babes flocking to you like Boba Fett Jesus or something?
Well, I mean, in the span of a week, you had 2 pictures very similar.
It's a true story, man.
So
You get hot babes in Catwoman costumes, and I get poetry readings by Man Bear Pig.
he told me he was gonna rape me. I think we're on the same page here. No, so what's funny about that picture? We were standing there with my publisher, and we were talking to her or whatever, and those two ladies walk up, and there's a bunch of people getting their pictures with them and stuff. And I mean, as you saw from the picture, they're both pretty gorgeous. And my publisher goes, "Look at all the perverts over there getting their pictures taken." And I was like, "Ah, hee hee." And then, like 2 minutes later, we go walking past them, and she stops and she goes, "Phil, get out your phone." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Dude, it's got a camera, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She's like, "You can get your picture taken with these ladies." Wait, what? Okay. But you just said...
Oh, boy. That's great.
But, so the best thing really for FinCon was I went with my publisher, so I didn't have my own table. I wasn't selling all of my own books. I was selling the books I had with that publisher, which is Yard Dog Press. And they brought, like, I don't know, probably 20 or more copies of Assassins Incorporated, and they sold every damn one of them. And in fact, I had to go get mine out of the car and bring them up, and we sold 3 more of those before I got out of there. So,
hell yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, you probably can't talk about that one thing.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably should talk about that one thing.
When we stop the broadcast, remind me to ask you about that one thing.
Yes, when we stop the broadcast, I will tell you the one thing.
That's awesome. And I'm glad to hear your books are selling. And I was thoroughly enjoying what I read of Assassins Incorporated. I haven't finished it yet, mostly because I'm real flaky.
Yeah, you should finish it tonight.
So here's a good thing for
Have
Jason.
you seen this beer? I'm not reading anything tonight.
Yeah, I have seen that beer. It looks like the top of a
Every
fucking
time you
sledgehammer.
stick it out there, and like covers your entire like camera screen here.
But it tastes so good.
So I was reading weird news. Actually, this was like a week ago. I'm not even gonna pretend like I got them all today. I got a few today, but every once in a while I like to read like weird news. I'll just Google like weird news,
Mm-hmm.
Just read like what weird shit people are up to. And some of them were so good, I started writing them down so I could talk about them on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
So oh man, see, I wrote myself a note here, and this was long enough now that I don't remember it, and it had something to do with the results of the Oklahoma purge, since we talked about that. And I don't even remember now, but it was something really funny, like nothing happened, but somebody did something stupid, like they fucking, I don't even remember now, like they stole like some food or some shit.
Yeah, that's all it was just small-time vandalism and stuff.
So I pretty much skipped past that, and I was very disappointed, and I think that's actually what put me on the whole thing of wanting to find some weird news to read. And then I was like, I gotta take some of these and talk about it on the podcast. So the first one I got for you: a guy in Florida broke into someone's house, threw a bunch of jewelry into a bag, and then fell asleep. The fucking cleaning lady found him, and the cops thought it was funny that they took pictures. He literally just broke into somebody's house, packed up some stuff, and was like, "Oh man, I'm kind of tired. I'm just gonna lay down here for a minute. I just need to close my eyes for a minute. I just need to close my eyes. That's all."
Avery's hard work.
Swears, yeah, you're too exhausted.
I'm pooped. Got me some earrings and a necklace. I'm pooped.
So the other one wasn't even really that weird, but it made me kind of I was like, obviously there's an answer to this, and it was Megan Fox apparently is really big into the paranormal, and she believes in like Sasquatch and ghost and shit. And apparently this guy was interviewing her, and he was kind of being a dick about it, like giving her shit about her believing in this stuff. And so apparently she said that there was this one time where a ghost poured her a cup of coffee, and she assumes it was a ghost because no one else was in the house with her, right?
Right.
Okay, so I read that, and it didn't sell me on it at all. The only thing I instantly thought was fucking stalker. Because it's Big Fox. Some dude broke her house.
Someone's hiding in a closet,
He
snuck
was
out and
probably
poured
wearing
coffee
a
for
hog
her.
carcass.
Oh, yeah, there she is. Oh, she needs some coffee.
Baby needs her coffee in the morning.
It was really weird because when I was in the shower, that same ghost started reading me poetry.
Man, bear, pig strikes again.
Okay, in all seriousness, you guys don't believe in Bigfoot?
And Bigfoot, man,
An idea of a Sasquatch type creature could be out there.
I don't know. I haven't put that much thought into it, to be honest with you. I suppose it's possible.
In
but I feel like there's a
2008,
pretty good chance.
in 2008, two on-leave police officers were hunting, and they shot the fuck out of a Bigfoot. And then they called in a Bigfoot hunter, and they called in the local news, and everyone got a look at this carcass, and they were like, oh my fucking god. We heard about it on the news for a week. I followed that shit like it was the Grateful Dead. I was on its jock. I was absorbing every bit of information because from the moment they were like, Bigfoot shot, I was like, oh my god. Because it took a week from the time they started bringing people in to see the carcass and show off what they had done. The scientific community held a meeting in Anaheim, California to discuss this finding. So, and they're like, on Monday, the news here was like, Channel 5 News was like, there's a scheduled meeting of the minds of the world's brightest scientists. They're going to discuss the findings of this carcass that the two men had shot. And the biggest Bigfoot hunter in America was like, look, I've never seen anything like this. I looked at it, I touched it, I seen it with my own eyes. This is amazing. So then the news is like, come back Monday to see what was reported. So after Monday, when the meeting of the scientific minds happened, the Tuesday, the news was like, and they discovered a zipper in the back, and it was all just a hoax. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
So somebody covered up Bigfoot?
Yes, somebody covered up Bigfoot. That's what I'm getting at. God damn it.
But why?
Because
it was some sort of lab experiment to begin with, that it just broke loose or something.
No, I'm not sure. I think that what my logic was, because I was furious, I had followed this. I was like, we found it. Because there's sightings all over Oklahoma, and, you know, I do plan on going and hunting some Bigfoot. But,
No, you don't. That requires leaving the house.
I make plans.
Read research of people hunting Bigfoots.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh, man. You don't know me. Maybe if I had some friends around here, if you guys came down for a weekend, we could do a live podcast from a tent in the middle of nowhere with some rifles, beer, and waiting for Bigfoot. Call it the Bigfoot Cast.
I got totally into that. I gotta be honest, Ed. That sounds a bit rapey.
Just wait till you see my winter wear. I have a hog-skinned vest.
I will, you know what? I will come Bigfoot hunting with you.
But anyway, Yeah, I buy into the paranormal and shit, but I just don't think that if I ever was like, oh, hey, there's an open beer I didn't open. Maybe a ghost put it there for me. No, there's rohypnol in it. I'm not fucking drinking it.
I would say, okay, Bigfoot, I don't really have an opinion on one way or the other, and I don't really care about him. It's just that he keep making funny beef jerky commercials with him. But if you want to sell me on one, it would probably be UFOs, because, well, I mean, like, our fucking universe, our galaxy is fucking huge. Space is fucking infinite. You're telling me this is it? Million fucking planets up there, billions of planets up there, not one other one with life on it? Come on, get serious.
Well, I believe there has to be life out there.
And the only thing I ever saw, like, UFO-wise that I thought was really credible, though, was a couple years back, the United Kingdom released all their government files on UFO reportings or whatever, or UFO sightings, however you want to say it. And I remember reading one, and it was at a very large airport. And so they had people in planes ready to take off. They had people in the tower, the people on the ground. So like over 100 people saw this giant object. I don't remember how they described it now. Come land and like hang out in the airport for a second and then take off again. And yeah, so like everybody in the radio tower, everybody reported it.
Why would they land?
Everybody in the planes reported it.
Why would they land at one of our airports, though? I mean, they could land anywhere else. I mean, a field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could have been, as far as that goes, it could have been a government.
There could have just been somebody that was really, really good at, like, building planes or something.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think,
made
like,
some creative new aircraft of theirs.
The only thing you wouldn't think is, like, why, if that was the case, you would not want to go anywhere near an airport because there's too many planes coming in. Like, that's pretty much ups your chance of getting hit pretty hard. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cool one because, it'd be one thing if just a bunch of people in the plane were like, oh yeah, we all saw the same thing, and we had an hour and a half to discuss that we all saw the same thing, so we made sure we all said we saw the same thing. But when you have, like, the actual radio tower people, and they're like, oh yeah, we saw it, and it was fucking weird. That's a little more.
I don't believe that they land here anymore. Like, I believe that it's all military. Every time there's a UFO scene, it's military.
Quite possibly.
But I believe that Roswell was a scouting mission, and the UFO did crash, and that changed our world dramatically. And I think they've been here since then. They've got their... You ever seen the South Park episode? It's probably something like that.
They're more interested in the cows?
Yeah, no, they're more interested in, like, doing blow, and it's all one big reality show. But here's the thing. Up until the 60s, there was this government organization called SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Then, all of a sudden, they disbanded SETI, and it went into a private extraterrestrial search group. The only reason the military ever disbands anything is because they don't need to have the search for extraterrestrial intelligence anymore. Because they found it. That's what I think.
Well, it could be.
Could be.
Maybe we'll find it first. I got in trouble in junior high with my science teacher because she was really big into UFOs and stuff. And I was like, who's to say we won't find them first? And she was like, well, I would assume if there's other intelligent life in space, they're probably smarter and far more advanced than us. And I'm like, says fucking who? Based on what? Nothing. It's a coin toss who finds who first. She didn't like it. I got sent to the office.
Well, that's right, man, because there could be a species just like us but look totally different, but as far as, like, culture and species evolution, they're probably in the same boat we're in. They're probably a little behind us, They probably got Windows 95 still.
Goddamn Windows 95. It was robust, though. You know what I love the most about Windows 95? Deer Hunter. Not like the millions of ones they made after where you get out.
Oh, you're talking about the one
around.
you stand in the same spot?
Same spot and turn circles.
Yeah,
that
you do it in
game
circles.
was
Then
amazing.
You see real crappy leaf moving.
Oh, it was amazing.
Deer comes creeping out.
So awesome. And it looked nothing like the background, so they were so easy to spot. I played that so much. It was ridiculous.
I played a lot of Duck Hunter.
All right, so on to the next headline here. I lost it. Okay, so this dude in Los Angeles steals a Ferrari, right? He gets stopped at a DUI checkpoint, and they find out that it's stolen. So he takes off, tries to get away, ends up abandoning the car and running away, right? So the cops take the car, and they put it in an impound to protect it overnight or whatever till they get it back to the owner, I guess, or however it works. The dude goes to the impound and steals the motherfucker again and takes off, and he gets caught again and finally arrested. Because they're like, oh, there's that stolen car that we picked up yesterday again.
That's funny. He must have known the guy at the impound lot because how would he get his car back?
My daddy didn't raise no quitter.
The guy once got his car repoed, and he went back to the lot, and he went back to the lot and stole it back.
So
that's almost worth the arrest record, just to be like, yeah, I did it.
yeah, that was me.
Yeah, rock and roll.
So,
okay.
On the other,
did you hear about the Ebola zombies?
no.
No.
But I did see the first case of Ebola was found in the U.S.
Down
in Dallas, Texas, where I just was.
If you get me sick, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, am I gonna get you sick through a podcast?
I don't know, but
But I'll tell you what, right now, if I get Ebola, I'm driving to your house. I'm gonna come inside and I'm gonna lick all your spoons.
that is fucked up.
You're not continuing this podcast without me.
Oh man.
Anyways, Ebola
No,
zombies.
okay. So a couple weeks before.
Wait, didn't you talk about this in the last podcast?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Let's talk about it again. Who gives a shit?
A couple weeks before the Dallas Ebola thing, they shut down the entire country of Sierra Leone in Africa for quarantine. And they said they were going door to door over the course of 3 days, searching for any illegal Ebola patients that are hiding. Because the people in Sierra Leone don't believe in Ebola. They think it's all a conspiracy. So the government had to quarantine them, the whole country. And now we're seeing shit like this. That's not good. I don't believe anything anyone tells me, so I definitely don't believe that it's just Ebola.
You shouldn't believe anything that anyone tells you, Ed. You're a wonderful human being.
Except for Bigfoot. He believes that.
That was kind of uncalled for.
I'm a skeptic about the Bigfoot thing, so sorry.
So
I'll go Bigfoot hunting with you, though, just so you can prove it to me.
So in Maine, this school, the teachers want to teach the kids to learn about working and how to grow shit. So they have this class grow like 100 onions, right? And they're planning on giving them to a homeless shelter, and this whole thing worked out. So the kids go out and plant all their onions, and they, I guess, take care of them over time or whatever. And so when they go to harvest said onions to give to the homeless shelter, nope, some jackass came and stole them all.
Probably some homeless guy. Like, oh, free onions.
The sleepy bandit strikes again.
Okay.
And in Kentucky, some dude was camping, and he went to sleep. Apparently he has a sleepwalking problem, and walked off of a cliff.
Oh, sucks to be him. I
Falls-
can't believe they...
He fell 60 feet, lands on boulders, hurt his head, dislocated his shoulder, had a broken leg, and they were like, you should be dead, but you're not. You're going to be all right.
Good for him. Hey, Did you hear about the other day in Moore, Oklahoma, where that guy beheaded the woman?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's wild. Hey,
Yeah,
what did you hear
I don't
about?
I don't believe that it's Islamic based. I think he was just a pissed off guy.
It's possible. Who
Yeah.
knows? The media likes to twist things.
Well, I don't buy into the whole Islamophobic outlook. I judge people on a person by person case. So, I'll shoot him just as dead if he is Christian or Muslim. I don't care.
Today I'm judging people on a hog carcass base. As in, if you're wearing one, stay the fuck away from me.
Look, man, you don't know. He could have made your dreams come true. He could have
No.
he
No.
could have kept you warm at night.
No.
He could have wove
Down this
you
road, my
jackrabbit
dreams, if you-
moccasins.
No.
You just wait till the fan page pops up for Mr. Man Bear Pig. It's gonna be a shrine to you.
No.
Mm.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What did you hear about this Oklahoma black mass? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, it's not the first one.
So what is that about?
It's just a black mass. It's have you ever read the book The Exorcist?
No.
Okay, if you read the book, it actually goes into black mass quite a bit. So imagine, if you will, a bunch of stereotypical Christian people in a nice part of town. You look at them and you think, oh, those people are just regular old people. Those are the kind of people that are usually serial killers, right? So imagine them one night just deciding to go to a church and hailing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Tastes
Ed
like
just about
Mexican
lost
food.
his 8 gallons of beer.
It's only a quart, okay? It's just a standard can. It's what I have for breakfast every morning. Don't go judging me.
Standard.
Anyway.
Dude, I walked into a bar in Cozumel, Mexico, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, what do you want to drink?" And I was like, "Oh, I want a Sol." Which, if you've never had Sol, it's an amazing Mexican beer. Over there, it's super cheap. In the United States, it's pretty expensive. It's like $9 a 6-pack here. Over there, they just give the shit out. But I'm like, "Yeah, I want a Sol," and he's like, "You want small, medium, or large?" And I looked at my friends. I was like, "How long are we gonna be here? Are we gonna be in there?" Like, "Oh, we're only gonna be here for like 5 minutes." And it's like, I guess give me, I don't know, give me a small. And the dude's like, "All right." And or no, I guess it was a medium. I did order a medium. The dude comes out, right, and everybody else ordered mediums. He comes out and sets a 40 on the table. And I'm like, "How big is your large?" And I shit you not, he held his hand like 2.5, 3 feet off the table. And I was like, "Are you guys sure we're only gonna be here for 5 minutes? Because I kind of want to see the large." But then a clown came up and started making balloon animals, and my friend Jeremy doesn't like clowns, and there was a whole thing, and we had to leave.
Man, you can't go anywhere without some freaks hassling you. This is why I don't leave the house.
Dude, I paid a clown, and what is it, the Rio Grande in Las Vegas? I think it was the Rio Grande. I paid a clown to chase him through that casino, and it was fucking awesome. That was like 8 years ago. He's still pissed off about it.
That's great. So you got a birthday coming up?
I do. You just had one.
Yeah, it was great. I actually had my birthday dinner tonight with the family.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, actually, some lady paid for all of us when we walked in. So, we were like, "Can we get the check?" And the guy was like, "Oh, no, some lady already paid for you." I was like, "All of
I have a
us?"
secret. It was me.
It clearly wasn't. I don't think your books sell that good.
No, it was not me. But yeah, I think my birthday is this weekend, I think?
Mm-hmm. What do you want for your birthday?
Oh, man. $1 million?
That's nice. My brother got me the Horror in the Museum, H.P. Lovecraft collection of short stories, Volume 2.
Nice.
Which is cool, because I have Volume 1 already. It's pretty sweet. And then my supervisor at work, he's an old Green Beret slash Major General in the Army, 2-star general. He got me a short case of authentic Cuban cigars.
Nice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I need to send you a book or something. What do you
gotta
want?
worry about it.
What do you want? Which one do you want that you don't have that you want signed?
Vanguard.
Okay, I can make that happen.
You make that happen. You sprinkle that love on there.
It'll come with a torn piece of hog carcass.
Oh, God. With a nipple on it.
Nipple still on it.
Just one nipple. Did he have like a hood he could put up? Like it's the hog head?
It was like a vest.
No, it's just a vest.
It's like where the button should be nipples.
He could have been like, squeal, piggy, squeal.
Dude, it's my favorite movie.
Well, the sad part is, I work in Arkansas, and I'm not far from the University of Arkansas. And when I was a kid, I grew up cheering for the University of Arkansas, and now I don't think I can ever cheer for them again in any format.
Aren't they the Razorbacks?
They are the Razorbacks, and their little motto is "Woo Pig Suey."
Gotta be honest with you, that sounds kind of rapey.
I was wondering why Pat came up and said that today.
He didn't get it.
Well, what did he say? He didn't say the whole thing. He said like part of it or something.
Yeah, I was kind of behind that. So I saw this cool thing on National Geographic I want to talk about, but now I can't really quite remember how it worked. It was these fish, right? And it was I don't remember what kind of fish, and then like eels, and they were watching them for a while, and what they realized was that like these two separate species of fish, they would work together to like drive fish to one another to eat. It was the craziest shit. You should get on National Geographic and see if you can find it. It was eels and something else. I can't remember, but it was the craziest thing. They worked in tandem, and like it was just crazy.
Sounds odd.
I also saw that a guy who wrote a book about running with the bulls and how, I think the book was called "How to Not Get Gored by a Bull." Well, he got gored by a bull. So there's.
It's always easier to give advice than to listen to your own advice, isn't it?
He got gored, like, what the man bear pig wanted to do to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I wrote any other notes that are actually worth talking about. In hindsight, some of these notes, I'm just like, I don't give a shit now. Oh, this is good. Bruce Springsteen wrote a children's book.
Oh my god.
Oh man, is it like him standing in denim jeans, but
This is how to be a man in the USA.
I can only imagine the multiple little children that grow up listening to nothing but a steady diet of Ted Nugent, John Cougar Mellencamp, and reading stories written by the boss.
So I did have one other note here that I think is pretty funny. I almost forgot about. So you know how like Amazon will send you emails about shit they think you should buy because they try to pick stuff they think you'll be interested in?
Yeah.
I got an email that said, "Hey, here's a book you might be interested in reading. Assassins Incorporated by Phillip Duncan."
Oh, did you buy it? It sounds good.
No, I did. I hard pass on that one.
Hard pass.
I went
Yeah.
a hard pass. Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't tell Jason that, because if he finds out I didn't buy it and read it, he might punch me in the face.
Oh yeah. Does he like it?
Because that's what he told a guy at FinCon he would do if he said he didn't like my book. Because that's my marketing strategy apparently.
Yeah.
That was after Army of Darkness.
So Hey, it's like the mafia, right? Like, you're gonna wake up with a man bear pig head in your bed.
Oh.
So I sent in and they read more poo crimes on that one podcast I like so much.
Did you? And did they read? Have they read more?
Yeah, they read them. They've read 3 of mine so far, and they're
Nice.
fucking hilarious. Would you like me to read another one?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. The title for this one was Poo Crimes and Continuing Disturbances of the Mind's Deep Crevices, intended for Super the Hardest podcast, and if you received this in error, please disregard. It says, "Hello, my friends. 'Tis I, Eduardo. Yesterday in group we talked about boundaries and how sometimes people fail to notice when they cross that ever so vague line that separates being a fan of a show and outright obsession. Our group counselor, Julie, told me that I had not only crossed this line, but sped past it while flipping at the bird by using phrases, the fellas and I, in reference to the topics discussed on the podcast. She also told me that I was not some hardened poo criminal, but simply an average guy who had gotten himself into a few messy situations. I will admit, while initially the idea of ignoring the consequences of my actions by claiming that I was simply a victim made me feel like a freshly baptized slut renouncing her past, my attention was quickly lost when this half-New Age hippie, half-pudding of a woman suggested that I stop listening to the show altogether. She also wanted me to throw out all the photos we've taken over the years, including the most recent one where we went to Cave Hill Cemetery in Kentucky so that we could visit the Colonel Sanders grave site and split a bucket of original recipe. That was the last straw. My initial rebuttal came in the form of informing her that her refusal to shave and obvious hatred for deodorant made her more of a comrade to the Soviet Union than a trend-setting hippie she fancied herself. This was also promptly followed by my explanation that sometimes people fail to see the oh-so-vague line between wearing yoga pants while doing yoga and committing an act of terrorism so wicked that if this had been a truly just world, she would have just been strung up in the middle of town square and publicly flogged, a line that she had not only crossed, but promptly crushed. Later that night, while explaining the black eye and sharing a laugh with my wife, I started to wonder if old Bessie hadn't been onto something. So I decided to share with you fellas a crime that I am not the culprit of, simply the hapless victim. When I was 19, I found a job as a janitor at our local mall, and let me tell you, this job fucking sucked. I should have seen the chunky brown writing on the wall when the only other applicant interviewing that day was a scrawny, bald, cross-dressing homeless man. A man whose lipstick looked as though a blind Amish girl had slathered it on while experiencing all the deliciously sweet heathenism that is Rumspringa. A man whose tread-marked Daisy Dukes outlined...
Did you say Rumspringer?
Yes. That was their reaction too. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? A man who's...
Can I finish? Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Buddy guy.
I'm not your guy, friend.
A man whose tread-marked Daisy Dukes outlined a moose knuckle so girthy, the cast of that show Northern Exposure would say, "Yeah, sure is big and don't you know?" An image I fear will be singed...
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, one day while cleaning the bench across from Victoria's Secret for the half-dozenth time that day, I heard a call over the radio that I was needed in the men's room ASAP. My assumption was that one of the stalls had simply run out of shit tickets, or one of the sinks had run out of soap, because, well, that's just the kind of thing that my haggard old meth whore of a supervisor got bent out of shape over. Look, guys, I'm all about working hard and doing your best, but when you're queen big shit of the toilet cleaners, you would think that you could only do so much bitching about the approximate usable toilet paper that is left in a roll before stepping back and reevaluating your life. Alas, when I arrived at the restrooms, I immediately noticed that the security guard had roped off the area. Upon seeing this, I knew deep down in my bones that the shit had hit the fan. Walking into the restroom took all the willpower I could manage. I was forced to squint against the thick wall of colon rot that seemed to penetrate my clothes, clog my pores, and even stained my teeth. It was as if the entire restroom had a tangible haze, somewhat like arriving in Silent Hill, but instead of a coal fire burning under the city, it was the bow bricks of 1,000 Comic-Con attendees smoldering for all eternity. As I stared into the stall and somewhat admired this freelance Golgothan's handiwork, I couldn't help but feel both sickened and strangely amazed. Some horribly disturbed person had scooped his forest green turds out of the commode and used them to draw ritualistic symbols on the walls, smash them into the floor with his toes, and even paint the toilet itself. Have you ever colored really hard with a crayon over and over in the same spot until the wax builds up and can be flaked off, leaving a smooth color underneath? That was the texture and consistency of this man's shit. When I went and picked up my final check, I didn't quite know if it was more the horrible assault on my senses that caused it, or the fact that some clearance aisle Columbo grinned proudly and patted my shoulder, explaining that this happens a lot. We know who it is. We just like to watch you toilet jockeys clean it up. That was responsible for my decision. Either way, when he told me enjoy in that oh-so-asshole manner, I dropped my name tag and radio like a microphone and walked away without a word. Well, that's about it for me this time, fellas. I would first like to take a moment to say thank you to the Amish for creating this beautiful rite of passage where their naive children go into the cold, cruel world in order to experience the sinful ways of the English, only to come dragging ass home soon after, hungover, strung out, and the star of Amish Girls Gone Wild, or at least as far as some Motel 6 Spielberg had told her, along with his final words of advice before ushering her out into the painful morning light. Whoops, I guess I forgot a condom. But don't worry, sweetheart. The AIDS will kill the baby.
Holy shit.
I told my wife, it's really bad that the one thing I'm good at in life is writing stories about shit.
I had a friend who was good at writing songs about shit, so everybody's gonna have something.
Oh man, we need to find him and get him on the podcast.
Curtis?
Yeah. Pink Machine Gun. You should look that up, Ed. Pink Machine Gun.
Okay.
Where did we find it at? We found it on something.
Man, I found it was that music app I had on my phone.
Oh man.
I'm sure you can find it anywhere on the web though.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I'll look it up.
I don't know if he actually has any funny stuff on there, and he just has some stuff that he's wrote here lately. I guess it's just kind of heavy metal type stuff.
Well,
I just wish I still had that CD about the Rascal.
My Rascal.
Shitting the bed.
I feel like we have to stop when you finish a story like that. Like I don't have anything left to say.
Yeah, it's been a good episode. There's been a lot of laughs. Got to hear about Man Bear Pig.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you did. You can be all right there with your king-sized beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. It's
Oh, you
it's
look
also a
fine.
workout. You see, I sweat out most of the beer because I have to lift it constantly, and
Yeah,
that
well,
just
it's the
works
size
the
of a
pecs.
propane tank.
That thing is no joke, man.
You could fit like half of an aircraft at the side of that can.
You know, I was thinking it was like angled or something, but now that it's compared to his head, nah, it's really just that big.
Well, see, that's confusing too, because if you meet Ed in person, he's got a little tiny head.
That's not what she told me.
You know, he's actually a little person. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, dude. Actually, me and Peter Dinklage got our start together. We were mud wrestling in Australia.
Oh, by the way, I love the use of Rumspringer in your story.
Yeah, I thought
That's
that was
freaking
great.
hilarious. Oh, it's
Yeah.
priceless.
The next one I'm sending in is a homoerotic fan fiction because they were saying how none of their fans write fan fictions about them. So I'm gonna just really disturb them. It's like two comic book heroes.
Oh, nice. Well, it's been fun.
That's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, guys.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the
Okay.
last.
Is there anything, Jason, anything you want to say before we log off?
No, I think it's it. Thanks for having me. I got 2 more specials, right?
Yeah, 2 more before you're played out.
Yes.
He's not going to be played out. It's just going to be like with your host.
Just the introduction, it will be played out.
No, I'll go
At
in
that
there
point,
and be like, the dreamy Ed Webb and the delectable Phillip Dreyer Duncan. Oh, and a bald guy named Jason.
Yeah. And Jason.
Hello? Hello?
Pillow. Nope, that's a Philo.
All right, world. Good night.
Good night.